Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars, welcome to another PlayStation review. Today's review is for the Dark Pictures Anthology House of Ashes. Now, after recently playing and reviewing The Quarry on the PlayStation, a game which I really enjoyed, I thought I would visit the third Dark Pictures Anthology game. Now, I have played and reviewed the first two on the channel. The first one was Man of Medan, which I really did quite enjoy. That was like a haunted boat scenario. The second one, Little Hope, was again another supernatural one. I enjoyed it a little bit less, but it was still decent. And this one, I always intended to get it and play it. But I just thought I'd wait for a sale for this third one, and it is on sale right now in the PlayStation Store in the UK for $9.99. So it's quite a good saving. It's less than half price. Full price, these games tend to go for about $24.99. Sorry. And after completing this for the first time, I have to say, guys, this is probably my second favourite Supermassive game behind Until Dawn. I really enjoyed this one. It is easily the best of the Dark Pictures Anthology games. I was just really engrossed throughout all of this one. Now, the setting for this one is in 2003. It is set during the Iraq War, which is just coming to an end. And there are a group of Marines and CIA operatives who essentially think they've discovered the location for Saddam's stockpile of chemical weapons underground. So they head off trying to find these chemical weapons, and in actual fact what they find is something far more sinister. They get underground, they get trapped underground as they get attacked by Iraqi armed forces. They're trapped underground, and they get trapped underground with a few beasties, shall we say. Now, I don't really want to say an awful lot more about the story here, because honestly, the story really is, for me, the most enjoyable thing about this. So I don't really want to spoil what it is you face when you get underground. I would like you to discover that yourself if you're interested in this game. But I just have to say, I thought it was pretty cool and pretty inventive what they did this time around. Like I said, the first two Dark Pictures Anthology games had a supernatural element to it, should I say. And this one is more of a creature feature with a twist. And I just really appreciated it. I liked the military angle to it, because I quite like military horror films. I think when they're done right, they could be really suspenseful and really well done and quite action-packed. And that's kind of what you get here. It's like an action film crossed with horror, this one. And I really appreciated it. And I also felt like I really built a relationship up with some of the characters here in this game. And I was really rooting for them. So I was keen to try and keep as many of them alive as possible. For me, they felt really well written. And this whole story for me felt really well written. And I was really, really engrossed in it. Now, for those of you out there who have played the Supermassive games, Until Dawn, the other Dark Picture Anthology for games, and The Quarry, the gameplay mechanics here will obviously be not a surprise to you. Essentially what this is, it's a movie that you watch that you will occasionally interact with and join in. So you've got choices that you can make that will direct the path of certain characters. So there's different branching storylines here. You can make dialogue choices that will send them down certain paths and affect the relationships with certain characters. There's things that you will do in regards, you will directly control some characters. You'll walk around environments. You can pick up all sorts of clues as to what's going on underground. You'll find clues because you discover when you get underground that there was another expedition there many years earlier. So you'll discover all their notes and all that kind of stuff, and it'll give you a little bit more clues as to what's going on. It's very similar to other Supermassive games. There are premonitions that you will find, like tablets lying around, that if you pick them up, it will give you a little hint as to potential outcomes, to like near-death experiences for certain characters. I always find them to be honest, in all the games, fairly ineffective, really. They don't really... it's nice to have a little sneaky peek, I suppose, but they don't really affect the gameplay, in my opinion, picking up these tablets. So and so that's essentially how the game works. You know, there's certain characters that you can make choices with. It will determine whether some characters will stay alive, some of them won't. You've got like quick time events to do. You've got like the breathing thing that you do a couple of times in this game, where you've got to kind of press the button at a certain point to kind of control your breathing so that you don't get spotted or found out by beasties and all the other stuff. But differently as well, there's like some shooting moments in this game as well, which I really appreciated. So you've got like shootouts at the beginning with the Iraqi forces, but you've also got like shootouts, quite a few shootouts underground with the beasties and all this other kind of stuff that I really liked. You know, you really felt like you were part of the military and all this kind of stuff. And I also liked what they did here in a sense of, you know, it's 2003. It's like coming to the end of the Iraqi war. There's a lot of talk of 9/11, all this kind of stuff. But rather than go down the typical US Armed Forces are the coolest and best military on the planet, which a lot of like US military films do, this actually kind of plays in the grey area a little bit, because you've got soldiers that are obviously scarred by the war. They've made decisions that have affected them poorly that they've got to confront in this game. But also you get to experiment a little bit with some of the Iraqi soldiers, and one in particular who ends up kind of potentially being part of the crew. So you've got these discussions that are taking place between the Iraqi forces and the US soldiers about the complexities of war and things like that. So I really appreciated how this was written. It's not all one tone, hoorah, US Marines are going to kick ass sort of thing. There's little aspects of that, but it's also a little bit more complex as well. And I think the writing is really quite mature. So I appreciated every aspect of this. I appreciated the writing, the voice acting, the motion capture was absolutely top notch, as always with these games. I couldn't fault it at all. The performance of the game was spot on. I had no crashes, no glitches, no problems. The mechanics, you know, are very, very simple to use and play with these sort of games. If you play these sort of games, you know exactly how they work. You've got your quick time events, you've got shooting events, you've got breathing controlling, you've got choices to make, and then you've got to try and basically keep as many people as alive as possible. I did all right in my first playthrough. I think I kept, I'd say about 75% of them alive, which isn't too bad. But as always with these games, there's a replayability factor to see if you can do better the more times you go in. So I'm going to give this one a really strong 8.5 out of 10. I really, really enjoyed this, and I strongly encourage you guys to check it out if you're a fan of the Supermassive games. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you liked this review. I hope you found it useful. And of course, I'll be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.